Hello everyone, this is Lana Tabor with Altenew and welcome to an AECP YouTube Hop for the month of July. Today we're playing with our favorite color combinations and I cannot wait to show you mine. Make sure to follow along, there are tons of inspirations as well as some awesome giveaways from Altenew. So what is it that I have up my sleeve this time? Well, first let me tell you that my favorite color is pink, and to make pink even brighter, we are going to combine it with orange. The first thing that I'm going to do here is protect my work surface. I'm using Altenew Silicone Matte for this. This mat is perfect for any medium that you are using for your crafts. Next, I picked up this plastic board. Now, I believe this is a watercolor palette from Altenew that I had from ages ago. I will link it down below if this is still available to purchase on Altenew website. We are going to be making an A7 or 5x7 card, and this is a watercolor paper that I had from, I'm not really sure which brand of watercolor paper this is, but it really doesn't matter as long as it's watercolor paper. And secure it to either the watercolor palette or cutting board with some masking tape. This will prevent your panel from warping. We are going to be using a lot of water here, so it doesn't hurt to do this. Now you can most definitely skip this part. I just really like to keep my panel straight. Next, I picked these couple of brushes here. You can use a bigger one or a smaller brush, whichever you have. Now, I wanted to play with the bigger brush, but then I realized that my brush is way too big for my watercolor little dish here. So, again, use what you have. I'm using this phenomenal Altenew watercolors, and look at these shades. As you can see, this palette is well loved. I'm gonna get this bright and deep orange. This is my favorite shade of orange, and I'm gonna just dip my brush into water and just keep on painting. I'm just going to move my brush left and right, starting from the bottom up. So the bottom is going to be darker and it's going to get lighter as I move up. To make this process a bit easier, you can most definitely spray your panel with water first and then start painting. I did not do this because of that. I don't really know why. I wanted to have that pigment be very strong. I was hoping for painting this only once, but as I started moving and knowing the fact that watercolors are not going to be strong the first time around, I kind of decided to just take my time when it comes to watercolors. And this is exactly what you need to do. In order to get that really deep shade of any color when it comes to watercolors, is that you need to gradually add pigment to it. Watercolors will do what watercolors want to do. There is no way you're gonna control it. So you gotta live with it. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's the way watercolors are. If you'd like to have more control when it comes to coloring, perhaps alcohol markers are more suitable for you, but when it comes to watercolors, they're kind of like cats. They will do whatever they want to do. So the best thing to do is do it in layers. So do the first layer, then let that layer dry, and then come back and add more pigment. Now you can dry your layers with some heat gun, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. But if you have a lot of time and patience, which is not my strong suit, you can just leave it aside and let it dry naturally. Now, I do have to admit, drying it naturally, it works so much better. It let that color seep into the fibers of your paper, and it's always so much better to let it dry on its own than it is to dry it with the heat gun. But I am still going to use my heat gun here, and after that is done, I am going to apply yet another layer of this orange and heat it up again, and that is going to be it when it comes to the background. And for my pink element, I chose this phenomenal elephant die set from Altenew, and it's called Elephantastic. Gosh, it's even hard to pronounce this. I love this die set, and one thing that Altenew does when it comes to layering dies is that there is a number to every layer and a little opening that it's almost like a key to help you layer your cuts easily. Altenew made it look so easy you don't need to look at guides anymore. I'm using Nina's 110-pound cardstock for die cutting, and I'm going to just cut all my layers at once, and I'm going to cut it off camera, and I'll be back in just a second. Your time. So all of my die cuts are done, and they look absolutely beautiful. All of them have numbers pierced on them, so it's going to be very easy to layer them. Also, they have beautiful details on them. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but you will most definitely see it once I start coloring. Now, some of these layers I am going to permanently glue to each other with some liquid adhesive, and a couple of these I am actually just going to attach with a removable adhesive. The reason for that is because I want to leave the tusks white, and I want to color the rest of my elephant pink. So the only way to do this is to actually remove the tusks and attach them a little bit later. They are going to stay completely white and intact while I color my elephant pink and I add shading to my elephant. Now I am using Sunshine Valley Garden Set. These are awesome, vibrant alcohol markers by Altenew, and I am just going to use these 3 or 4 pink shades to color my elephant. Now, this is the reason why I attached my elements first before coloring, because I wanted to shade my elephant a little bit better, and I didn't want those tusks to be colored or damaged by the color later on, and I can just simply add them later, as previously mentioned. So when coloring, of course, always start with the lightest color and gradually add more pigment. Altenew alcohol markers are such wonderful markers and very easy to work with. They're highly pigmented, very beautifully vibrant. I love the shades. They're easy to blend, and one of the most important, I should say, properties that these markers have, that is that they are refillable. So again, add the lightest shade and then gradually add more and more pigment. Remember, you can always add that pigment, but you can't take it away. So again, be patient. That's all that it takes when it comes to coloring. And lastly, please do not forget to color the sides of your die cuts. Now, I know that this could be a little minor step, but remember, devil's in the details, right? It is very important not to miss this step. This will make your die cuts look so much better, and it will make your project look polished and neat. And here it is. My elephant is all beautifully colored, and I just absolutely love how this turned out. Now we are going to move to assembly. My card panel is ready, and as you can see, it dried very nicely and it's very smooth. You will realize that this happens often if you are patient enough to leave your projects dry naturally. So to attach the panel to the base, I am using liquid adhesive. And my strong advice is to use liquid adhesive whenever you're working with watercolor paper. You will have more success attaching into the base, as well as making sure that the panel is stuck to the base. And before moving on, I need to pick a sentiment. For this, I used already pre-cut sentiment strips from a stamp set from Altenew called, now you'll never guess this one, Sentiment Strips. This is a phenomenal stamp set, and now this stamp set is sold in a little bundle of 3 stamp sets, and these sentiments are the only sentiments you will ever need for your project. I personally like to make the sentiment strips in advance, and I also like to stamp them on different colored cardstock so I could have them ready for future projects such as this one. I will leave the link for this awesome bundle down below if you are interested in checking it out. To attach both the elephant and the sentiment to the card, I used dimensional tape from Altenew. Now this thing will last you forever. I love using this tape for a lot of my projects, and trust me, you will not run out of it in a long time. And that is it. My project is done. You see how quick and easy that was? A good project does not need to be complicated. Start off with simple things and everything else will follow. All you need is a little patience and some good inspiration. So do not forget to hop along and leave a comment on each stop. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. That will mean a lot to every single one of us. Thank you all for joining me and Altenew today. And I will see you soon with something new. Bye-bye.